Hello, welcome. This is Maniac Tim with Maniac Sports. I'm not at home, as most people can pretty much tell. Uh, I'm out of town for the weekend. I could be, it could be out of town for a lot longer. But yeah, I wish I was going to the Lions game, uh, but I got some other responsibilities I gotta do. I'm actually visiting a real good friend of mine, and I'm glad to be doing that. Yeah, earlier today on Detroit Lions on the Prowl, one of our discussions was, is this a must-win game for the Detroit Lions against Seattle? I have had a little bit of time to evaluate it a little more, and I'm going to change my answer to yes. I know I kind of said it was yes more because of mental, for the team and stuff like that, but also for for the way the schedule is looking, you know, if you're going to be a winning team this year, you got to be able to beat teams like Seattle. Seattle may not be the best, may not be the worst team that they have played, but you cannot let games slip away from you like you did last game. I mean, that was outrageous the way the Lions just let that slip away. Uh, it was in Minnesota, granted, but you got to be able to win games away and at home. If you're going to be a good team. Now, in saying that, there's blame for a lot to go on. Okay, the first blame, you gotta blame Murphy. Okay, who is Murphy? You gotta blame Murphy's Law. I mean, he's not the only person or the only deal. Murphy's Law is not the only thing that went wrong. But with the amount of injuries that the Lions have been sustaining throughout the beginning of this season, and actually it seems to be all season long, you know, um, even it's even been before this season and stuff like that. Anything that can go wrong does go wrong. So you definitely got to give part of the blame to Murphy from Murphy's Law, but not only to him. You also got to give another part of the blame to Aaron Glenn. Why? Why Aaron Glenn? Glenn? Well, because that defense that he has, um, they underperformed. They underperformed. They didn't do well enough to close it out. You know, um, Jared Goff with the interceptions. You also got to look at some of the blame, but with the interception, and also Dan Campbell with some of his play calls. But he is learning, so we got to be patient. So this is a game that they need to win. They need to show fans that you can beat the teams that you should beat. And they need to show themselves, and they need this in order to start establishing themselves in a winning tradition. All right. Hey, Grendizer 12. What brings out the maniac in me? Well, loss as well. What brings out the maniac in me in good ways is winning. It's great performance. But now they got to pay the piper. They got to go ahead and they got to ball out. They got to bring this defense needs to get more than just pressures on the quarterback. They got to get sacks. They got to get sacks in order to win this game. Because if you don't get the sacks, you're not going to get the turnovers. You're not going to get the you know you give people all day in order to get the ball. Um, the receivers all day to run. Um, it's just something you got to do. you got to get pressure. How are you? How come you're in? How come you're in your studio? I'm not in my studio because I'm in a hotel. I am gone for the weekend, so I'm not at home. Um, I a good friend of mine, his cousin is getting married, so we are actually going to be at the wedding. So not part of the wedding, but so I'm out of town. That's why I'm not in my studio. Uh, I'm not at Maniac Central. So, but I did want to come on. Of course, you gotta run. We gotta be able to run the ball. The defense, it's not a high ranked defense in as far as against the run um, that Seattle has. They're not. So we gotta pressure. We gotta really run that ball. Our running backs, our second, third string running backs, of course, need to do better because DeAndre Swift is going to be out. There's no doubt about it. T.J. Hawkinson, he's going to need to go ahead and step up, and of course they got a game plan for him more. DJ Shark has to go ahead and do this. Show up more. Uh, they need to, of course, Renos, Netflix, whatever you want to call him, he needs to really show up more too. Um, okay, let's see. Lions news. Tua uh, Tagovailoa scared injuries sent shocks through Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions TD Isaiah Bugs, who played 2 seasons with Tua at Atlanta, Detroit Free Press, and I was there. Yeah, Tua. I'm glad things worked out where he doesn't have a concussion, but from what I hear, it's his back problems. And so, any type of injury to a key player like that, you're a quarterback. I wish the best for him. I never want to see anybody get hurt like that. You know, back injuries, brain injuries, all kinds of stuff. Uh, yeah, Maniac Center. Yeah. All right. Yeah, this is so I'm in Maniac Center Studio B. I guess we'll call this one Studio Blue, or not Studio Blue, B. And yeah, and sorry about the lighting. There ain't nothing I can do about it. Um, but it's what I have to work with right now, and I do not have a green screen here. And I tried using the backgrounds, and it really didn't work for me before, so I didn't want to use that here. So at least you can see me. I know my face looks white and pale and pasty, but hey, I gotta fire my makeup guy because he's not doing his job. I don't have the hair rinse in where have my ear pierced or anything like that. I didn't get the mohawk that like I want to get. You know, okay, I'm going a little bit off rail here, uh, but they got to utilize the tools because they do still got tools. They do definitely still got tools, for sure. One sec, please. Uh, one of my friends is okay. Let's see. It's the price you pay for being a celebration, Tim. Yep. For sure. Tim, will you be the best man at the wedding? Uh, no, I will not be. I will be the maniac man of the wedding, but no, it's a friend of mine. It's actually his cousin that's getting married. It's a long story. One I can't go over the air with, but he's a real good friend, and he's really important to me. I But I gotta turn these guys all into Lions fans. That's what I gotta do, and I got to do that. My friend's dad happens to be a Green Bay Packer fan. OMG, OMG. All right. Grandizer 12. Lions news. Former Lions safety Quandre Diggs. I love what Detroit is building. Detroit news. Tim was there. Hey, I gotta agree. I love what we're building. Uh, I do want to see more results, though. I'm not, and yes, I'm shooting for 10 wins. That's what I'm doing. I'm not going to go back on my word. I mean, I'm seeing with the way they've been playing, with the injuries and stuff like that, 10 wins are going to be hard to achieve. But my goal and my goals have always been high. I'm going to keep them high because that's what I want to see. I want to see 10 wins this season. Am I going to go ahead and call for Matt Patricia? No, I just said um, Matt Patricia to come back out. No, I don't want Matt Patricia to come back at all. But I do not want Dan. I think Dan Campbell. I'm good with him, giving him a couple of years, but we do need to a couple more years. We do need to see more improvement. He didn't have a lot to work with last year. He has more to work with this year. I do feel that in this upcoming draft, they need to address the defense a lot more than what they did last year because you got to get linebackers help. You definitely got to get more linebacker help in order to get to the point that we need to be at because it's just that's one thing we're really weak on. We're really weak on safeties. Um, it's just something that they got to do better. That you get Brad Holmes needs to get with Dan Campbell, and they need to get some help. Uh, Jared Goff is still a question mark in my point of view. We will see how he does. He's a good game manager. Last game, I do not fault him for losing that game. I think that there was a lot of bad decisions, but we have a coach that is second year coach, and he's really just learning too. I'm okay. How do I feel about Sunday's game? Feel good, worried, or doubtful? I feel good. One of the reasons I do feel good, you know, I mean, yeah, the injuries you do gotta worry about that because the injuries. I mean, these are key people that are out there. But I do think the Lions are going to be in bounce back mode, and that's one of the reasons I think is really going to help them. They when you lose like you lost last game, all right, uh, that's kind of like a lot of people are saying the same old lines. So I do think that because of the egg that they have had on their face, as far as in that loss, letting it slip away like they did, I think they're going to perform better. Sometimes that's one thing about losing will um, will inspire you to do better. All right. Uh, Lions news. Detroit Lions. Amount Aquaria, Tim, I'm not going to change who I am after 6 penalties games. Detroit. Yeah, but you better quit getting those damn penalties. Otherwise, we better walk you off the field because, hey, uh, we can't be having that. You got to do better, and you can't be getting penalized like that because, hey, if go ahead and trade him to a team like the Packers where they're not going to care if he goes ahead and gets those penalties because the rest ain't going to call him on him anyway. So that's the way I feel about it. He needs to do a better job. He needs to step up. What you got? We got your score free for our Friday, but they ran out of time to ask you who will the Lions player of the game be for the win. Um, Lions player of the game. Okay, I do think the Lions player of the game is for the win. I'm going to go with TJ Hawkinson. And of course, I cannot call him the Lions player of the game to win. I got to call him the Maniac player of the game. I think you're going to see him ball out because he needs to. He needs to be that tight end that will help you win the games and that will actually add that game. You'll add that win, that that last ditch win for the game. All right. Lions news. 5 teams who might be desperate enough to trade for former wide receiver Kenny Galladay. Sideline report. Yeah, and actually, Kenny Galladay has not been doing what he was doing with the Lions and under Matthew Stafford. So, I don't know if I would even want him back. I don't know if he's going to add that dimension to the team. And besides, we're going to have Jameson Williams in a couple weeks. Hopefully after the bye, he's getting better, and that's going to add definitely add um, another deep threat. Uh, of course, it's going to take time for him and Jared Goff to get in sync with each other. So I think I for me, I don't think that it would be much of a help to bring Kenny Galladay back over to Detroit. It's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but really, if you look at his last year here, he was injured most of the time. He didn't play. That may have been one of the reasons why they let him go uh, rather than signing him. They didn't. They let him get signed in free agent somewhere else. Lions new quarterback Jared Goff being vocal, heart beating for Detroit, but not every quarterback is willing to accept the burden that goes with leadership. Goff accepted it. Detroit news. Hey, that's great. You know, no matter what, right now he is our quarterback, and he has really taken us to he's putting the team on his back as much as he can. And by taking responsibility for wins and losses, hey, it's just showing that he's that quarterback. And of course, Granddaddy 12 and Tim was there. Yeah, definitely. So, it's so, I mean, it speaks a lot for him. Uh, hopefully he can lead us to some more W's because that's what we need. We need W's. We need the wins. we need to turn that corner. Uh, you know, and as we have heard the rhetoric, Dan Campbell did not want to go ahead and be a high draft choice team because you cannot get it done. He wants to be a team that is contenders for making the playoffs. He wants the Lions to be in contenders for making the playoffs, for being that good team. So that's what he wants, and that's what I want. I don't, and I'm sick away. Tim, if there was one player on the injury reserve you could make 100% healthy, who would it be? That's a great question. 100% healthy, and if it got a guarantee that it would be throughout the year, and I'm going to give you my top three in who I would want to be 100% healthy. My top one is got to be DeAndre Swift, because he does bring an element to the running game that the backups do not. He is our number one running back. All right. You also, number two, I gotta say, um, I gotta say Ken Gel or not Ken, the Sun God. Um, I I want him there. He has played. He has bought out. He has been there for us. So I want him to be so. First DeAndre Swift. Second would be and you guys all know who I'm talking about. Number 14, the Sun God. And right now, the mind grabber got me because it's just kind of woo to give the name away. Um, but yeah, and then my number three. Okay, I would like to see Taylor Decker 100% healthy. All right. Uh, all right. I'm at a hotel, so hopefully they don't kick me out. I know it wasn't as strong as it wasn't the loudest, but it does get me upset. No. Okay, that was a weird voice. Uh, but yeah, but uh, Frank Ragnall, of course, having him, but I mean, it's just that 100% healthiness, and of course, but even Aiden Hutchins is really getting hurt too. So there's so many. It was as good as it gets. I'm sorry, I cannot put 100% none in this hotel. I'm real sorry. If I was at Ford Field or at my house, I would. But that's as good as it's going to get, because I don't want the manager coming over here and uh, going ahead and kicking me out because I'm just, I'm disturbing the other guests, especially at almost 4:30 in the morning. That would not be good. So whoever else is watching me, I do appreciate it. I mean, I see there are two people watching me. Thank you guys uh, for looking on. Uh, and okay, the next door in the hotel room, the couple sleeping. The lady was, honey, did you hear that? I think there's a lion in the next door room. LOL. Yeah. Although he probably would have said it was a lion with a muzzle on it, the way that one sounded. Uh, yeah. But yeah, definitely. That's yeah. These walls, I cannot say. I mean, the room that I'm in is not cheap, but I cannot say for sure how thick the walls are in here. But yeah, but first and foremost, the Lions need to better decisions need to be made. They need to uh, run the ball. They need to throw some passes, get play action going. Just and you can't shoot yourself in the foot in the offense. You can't just go ahead and make these mistakes because you can't give them first downs. You can't do that by either letting them escape you uh, or by giving them a penalty that's going to go ahead and bring them halfway down the field because you ended up interfering with their progress, for sure. All right. Okay, three keys to winning the game. Okay, three keys to winning the game is definitely shutting down their passing game. I don't really think their running game is, and of course, running the ball. Well, okay, let's do this the right way. As far as on defense, okay, key one, you got to shut down the running game. Uh, you also got to get pressure and as well as sacks on their quarterback. And shut down their passing game, shut down their running game. We got to score. We got to run the ball. On offense, we got to run the ball. We got to run the ball. We got to not deviate from running. We got to have that because I think they're like 25th or 27th or something like that in the league as far as in stopping them run. You know, we got to be able to run the ball on them. We got to because the run is going to open up the pass for us. So if we can run that ball, then we got to be able to pass. We got to make smart decisions. You cannot go ahead and use a pitch back play when you got 4th and 1. You can't do that. You gotta if you got 4th and run, you gotta go ahead and just run right down the middle, and just so it key game or use. Uh, don't only use one receiver. Also another key is get T.J. Hawkinson involved in the game. You gotta get Reynolds involved in the game. You got to do that. Williams running the ball. It's just things. They just need to make it happen. So those are my three key games. And of course, another thing is we gotta open up the lanes. Hopefully, T.J. Hawkinson can go ahead and block more too, because that's one thing that he's been lacking at. He got to block in order to open up the lanes for the running back too. Um, and don't trust the kicker, because if you gotta trust the kicker, as I've said in the past, if it needs to go to the kicker, you don't have Jason Hanson, you don't have Prater, you do not have Eddie Murray. The guy they got now, he's not near as good. His range isn't as good. His accuracy is not as good. Cyber is not as good. So you cannot rely on your kicking team to win the game. You got to rely on on getting the touchdowns. You got to convert when you're in the red zone. You got to get to that red zone. You got to score. You got to score. You got to score. And you cannot drop. You cannot drop the intensity. Missed that field goal. Damn it! I told you not to do it. Damn it, man! Go for it. Jesus Christ, man. Micro Mike. Hell yeah. Marco Mike, man. I'll tell you. Uh, you know, he, uh, he got that type of voice too. Okay, Michael Mike, he just got that type of voice. When he complains, it's like I don't know. It's just kind of between a screech and a whine. I mean, it's like, and he can just go ahead and, I mean, he got that voice to really complain. So actually, he's at the right team because I mean, there's a lot. As being a Lions fan, we all know there's a lot you get to be complaining about. So, yeah. Oh boy, yeah, I know Michael Mike, great guy, love him to death, but then when he complains, you know it, and I'm so glad that he's doing this full time. Uh, Great guy, knows the stuff. Um, he was one of the he was one of the main reasons Jim got into actual going with the DSA. Um, yeah, I cracked up. I should have not because he is really he's really upset. But the things he said, I know he was done. I mean, he was done. I seen that you couldn't help but crack up. I mean, it was just so it was. I mean, it was just oh boy. Okay, I got to send a clip from last week's game. He was totally livid. Yes, for sure. Yeah, he. I mean, it's just yeah. Did you ever see that one clip where he's oh it's like on one of last year's game, and I think was when they won their first game, and that field goal kick was good. And that one clip that he had, and I know I said, well, what that's what brings up the maniac. Okay, and Michael Mike did say, "Don't kick that field goal. Go for it on fourth down." Oh yeah, I mean that should have been a no-brainer. I mean, yes, the time before you were stopped. Okay, you were stopped because your running back went ahead and ran right into coverage. The time before that, you were stopped because because your quarterback overthrew the receiver, and it was fourth and one. You tried to trick him. So, two times before that you were stopped, but the situation was so freaking different. It, you go ahead, you make it. You know, if they would have made that damn freaking first down, then they could have ran out the game. But no, I mean, and you go ahead and you force them to get a damn touchdown. You know, but if you make that kick, all right, you force them to get the damn touchdown because then it's a 6 point it's a 6 point game. You force them to get the touchdown if they and almost you'll always get the point after, so you still lose by one. All right, even if they made that kick. So that was what did not make sense. Um, they went for it the time before. Okay, if they would have went for it the time before, and not if they would have kicked the field goal the time before and brought it up to that 6 points, and then if it would have made it a 9 point game, you know, if they would have tried the last two times, if they would have kicked it the time before and got that field goal, and then kicked it that last time, then I could have seen. Okay, because it would have made more sense. But to go ahead, it was a, I mean, it was a dumb call. There's no way around it. That's all on Dan Campbell. Yes, he's a second-year head coach. Yes, his team is not as intelligent, and he his basically his any players were stripped away by the previous regime that he had. So but they had that game in hand, and then you go ahead and you make a dumbass play like that. That's stupid. I mean, it's just as stupid. It's like, I mean, I may make fun of how Micro Mike said it, but I felt the same way. Why were you going for it? Why were you going for that kick? Especially it was Austin Seibel, who's supposed to be hurt, you know, but who doesn't cook that or who doesn't kick that good when he's not hurt? He's not, it, like I said, he's not anywhere near the last three great kickers that we have had. So you cannot rely on him to win that game for you like you could the other ones. So, that's just, I mean, hey, but what do we know? I mean, I think even Jim was saying, Jim was probably upstairs saying, "What the heck are you doing? You know, what the heck are you doing, man? What the hell? I mean, but I'll tell you, you want to know what brought out the maniac in me? That brought out the maniac in me last week. It sure as hell did. I mean, it was like, and that was not the reason. Thankfully, I'm getting over whatever I had. I'm not sneezing. I'm not coughing like I was before. It really wasn't good to be doing shows when things were coming out, like I was the sniffling and stuff like that. So that's why this week I kind of got cut back a little bit on my shows and just, more or less to get myself healthy. Uh, but that's the way it is. I am actually, I mean, heck, I love doing this show. I definitely am looking forward to the Lions game. I do not know how much, I because I'm going to be here all weekend. I'm definitely going to be following and checking up on the game, what I can do, but for sure, because I mean this I do take seriously for sure. Uh, so I'm going to see as much of it as I can. Uh, and I'm probably going to find a way to watch the game for sure. It should be on here. So, um, how are you doing, Grandizer 12? What do you think? And hey, it's how do you feel about the results of Thursday night's game? I mean, it was seeing the dot, and this is not irrelevant. Definitely not irrelevant. I still respect the way the Dolphins play. Um, it was at Cincinnati. Tua got hurt, of course. Um, Watching this team year after year pissed me off. Crowd. It's hard to be a Lions fan. Michael Mike, definitely. And yeah, it is. It sometimes you just get to the point where you gotta self, and I don't mean this as far as in taking any type of drugs or anything like that, but sometimes you can get so ticked off at the results that for a moment you're done. You have seen enough. You have said, hey, I gotta clear my head. I gotta get out of this. I just got to, you just get sick of it. You get sick of, because you get your hopes way up, and then all of a sudden it's like, and when you lose to a divisional rival like the Lions did, you lose to Minnesota. You, you know, you lose to Green Bay. You lose to Chicago. Any one of those teams are the worst teams to lose to because it's just they not only that you got to deal with them, the loss, you got to deal with the fans, and nobody remembers how the game was won or lost. They just remember the wins and losses. All right, they don't remember. What goes in the record book is the scores. I mean, others, nobody, you don't get recognition for being close. It's wins or losses. So when there's just so many L's, so many different tries, so many different ways, it just gets to the point where it drives you batty. It's like sometimes you just gotta release your inner maniac, and you just gotta say, in whatever way there is, and you just got to really, really just. Some people do it, like Mike did it. Some people go ahead and throw remote controls at the TV, like a former friend or like a friend of mine did. And some people, I mean, there was one time when it was like I had it being a Lions fan, but for a while I didn't watch a couple of the games. This was years ago. This was before the 0 and 16. You know, but then I came back. And you know, all right. If Tua didn't get hurt, Finns might win. Yeah, that's true. They were grasped after their grasped after their game versus the Bills in the heat. Yep. I never cared for Thursday night games. Sunday is for football. Exactly. And really, what are Thursday night games? They're another way for the NFL to make money, which helps with as far as for what the players do, it doesn't deal, but it basically Thursday night games were basically just so that it gives one more channel, one more avenue that the NFL can charge and can get can get game now. If you go from a Monday night game to a Thursday night game, hey, that's a short week. So yeah, I see what you're saying. You know, it's like I said, the buy should be in the middle point for every team. I can't stand early or late buy. Exactly, because then it really, it doesn't help. It doesn't really help that team. Unless you got like a lot of injuries um, early on, it may help them. But no, it doesn't. Yeah, the NFL could do better than that than what they're doing as far as in making it more towards the so that the teams get to buy more towards the middle of the season for sure. Because hey, it wears on you. This is a collision sport. It's not a contact sport. It is a collision sport. And people know what I mean by that is that your bodies are colliding together. It's not that you just have a little bit of contact. If you're a running back, if you're an offensive defensive lineman, if you're just about any position on that field, you're either hitting somebody or somebody's hitting you. And when they're hitting you, they're looking to knock you on your ass at least, or they're looking to take you down to the ground. So your body needs some time to heal. And having that buy more centralized centralized for all teams would be better, I think, for the league and for the players. All right. Glad to hear too as well. First rest for 10 days and play the Jets. If the Finns can rest Tua versus the Jets and Vikings, then the Steelers, then the Lions, then Chicago, then the bye. Wow. So they you got quite a but of course, me and you're going to be going for different teams when we play. And uh, the problem is Miami that Teddy acts like he don't want to be there. True, true. Yeah, and if that's really bad. Because if you don't want to be there, you don't perform well. You don't. You're under contract. You got to do your best for your team, but your heart needs to be in it too. So okay, Tim, will you go eat breakfast? I always like watching. I always like waking up early, going eat breakfast when I'm on the road. I haven't had no sleep all night. I probably will get something quick for breakfast, but part of the wedding is I'm supposed to be at a lunch, so more of a brunch type deal. I will find out more about that uh, tomorrow as far as the exact time. But yeah, I'll probably eat just something small for breakfast. Uh, okay, okay. Granddaughter 12. If Teddy is the QB for the Lions, I believe the Lions will win. Teddy got replaced by a seventh round pick, Skylar Thompson. Then Teddy became the rumors of trade. Well, heck, if if he does if he does want to come to Lions and he does want to play for us, hell, I'll take him. Especially if he can do better than what we got right now, for sure, for sure. All right. Well, I am. It's actually getting pretty late over here. So I'm going to end up closing this out pretty soon. Uh, I need to at least get a couple hours sleep before I go do something. But I will try to be on again tonight later on. Uh, so things work out, I should be able to. There shouldn't be a problem. I just think that Uh, sorry, man. If Teddy is the QB versus the Lions, I predict the Lions will win. Teddy body's language says he's unmotivated. Okay, okay, yeah. All right. I figured you knew him better than I did, and that's okay. All right. Yeah, I misunderstand. Understood you. Thank you for clearing that up. Yeah, I do appreciate it. Okay, Tim. You sleep well. Get a good night's rest. You're going to get Megan on your stream. I have not had a chance to contact. I failed to contact her yet. I will see what I can do tomorrow to see if I can. Tomorrow's going to be pretty busy for me, but I will try. That's the only thing I can say. Yeah, it's like Teddy is upset that he got replaced by a seventh rounder guy. Is what is play harder. Yeah, that's true. Um, That's true. Hey, if you're going to, I mean, that's not helping his situation by playing like that. Because he if he were to play better, then who knows what else he could end up becoming. I mean, hell, look at look at Bledsoe. He got replaced by a seventh round guy. You know, I mean, Bledsoe got replaced by Brady, seventh round pick. And he was a first round pick. You know, I mean, you can, okay, if you don't contact her, I am kind of bumming. She said she is willing to go on your stream, so I sent her info for the Lions content creators. None of them reach out to her. I will do my best to try to reach out to her tomorrow after the wedding. Okay, I will try. Hopefully, I'll be able to I'll find out what. Okay, I will do my best. I mean, it's just this was a very bad week for me as far as in what went on earlier in health wise, and then it's like this weekend is like I knew this was coming up, and it was a weekend that was like it was a weekend I knew I was going to be busy, but I will do my best to try to get a hold of her and see what we can work out. Maybe we can work out something uh, early on Sunday morning or something. You know, because I'm not planning on drinking or anything at the wedding. Yeah, Brady was a sixth round pick, replaced Bledsoe. He was a first round pick. Yeah, all right. Yeah, I know it's okay, but I myself, I mean, you have did a lot for me, and you have suggested a lot of things that I do appreciate it, and I don't want to. I mean, yes, this is busy and stuff like that, but I'm trying to take this serious too, as far as in trying to grow my stream and to be better content. And I got to, by doing that, I got to be able to follow up on these things. So that was a downfall on my part, and it's just I'm going to try to make it right for sure. Because this is something that it's just for sure. I mean, even if it ends up being something after the game, but I'll try to see what I can set up. Thank you. I mean, all this stuff is appreciated. I figured Michael Mike would have gotten Megan this week. He has the time. Yeah, I don't understand why. I mean, I try to help your channel. Detroit Lions roar. Detroit Lions are proud. Roar of the UK to grow. But Detroit Lions are proud said they were too busy. Roar of the Lions UK was too busy. Wow. It must, yeah, okay. But now I heard something, I know Val said on Free for Our Friday that she wasn't even sure if they would be able to even do the Linus Lair this week or not. Because to all the stuff that's going on over in the hurricane and stuff. Um, but I will definitely do my best to get something going. Uh, for sure, because I mean, it's definitely, I'm going to do my best. But I am going to end this for tonight, or this morning, I should say, because it is 5 in the morning. Uh, Thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for all the suggestions. I do appreciate it. Uh, Go Lions, one pride. Uh, let's go ahead and let's win some game. Let's release the roar and not the snore. Make good decisions and ball up and ball out. Good night, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Grandizer 12. And yes, I will unleash the maniac and release the beast. All right. Until next time, have a good night. That's, I mean, that's real bad.